Haven't made one of these videos in a few months, and like this is the type of video that I made in like the first 2 or 3 months of me posting videos on this channel, with just me explaining how much of a fucking idiot I am at the gym. To kind of just be like, hey, if you're thinking about going and embarrassing yourself, you can't be worse than I am. I kind of just forgot like this was something that I was doing, and so I wanted to just do a little bit of a rundown of the trials and tribulations that I have had at the gym, I guess, over the past couple months as I can remember them. And maybe me talking about them right now will have me think of more things that I actually like, do to embarrass myself at the gym. And so the first one I want to talk about is something that happened literally yesterday, and it's kind of like one of the reasons why it sparked my memory to actually like talk about this type of stuff. Was at the gym that I go to, the water bottle like filler up machine doohickey on the water fountain is kind of broken. So you have to like I guess use the two-hand method to just like actually like press the button and like use and calculate the arch so that it goes into your water bottle. And I had something in my hands while doing this, and so I literally unscrewed the top of my water bottle. I'll unscrew the lid, and then I put the lid onto the water fountain. And then as I had something in my hand, I needed to put it down. And so in my wisdom, I leaned forward with the open water bottle and just spilled a fuck ton of it all over me and like the notebook that I have in my hand that I use to write down my reps because I'm an old fashioned weirdo like that. And of course, this was not without any observers. There's a guy on the water fountain right next to me that saw this happen. And he just like looked at me and I really quickly said, like, you didn't see that happen, man. I'm so sorry. You didn't see that happen. Because he didn't even get wet. And then like he just like leaves and then he comes back like a second later and hands me some paper towels. I'm like, oh, thank you, man. I really appreciate it. I don't know what was going on in my brain to like, not think that an open water bottle when flipped upside down is gonna spill out water because you wouldn't believe it. That's actually what happened. The fact that I did it in front of another human being was just absolutely tragic and just so embarrassing that this happened. But at least the person was nice enough to hand me the paper towels. So that was kind of chill of him to do. And then another thing is that this is not even like really an embarrassing thing, but it's just more of a weird quirk of me at the gym where there's this one dude when I was back at college going to the school gym, I would like see a couple of times and we'd chat and like, have conversation just about like what we're doing and just like I don't know what we're trying to feel when we're doing workouts. And I maybe had like 5 or 6 conversations with this guy. And not a single time throughout the entirety of our interactions did we exchange names. And I still don't know this guy's name. I do not know what I should refer to him as or like who he is. I just know what he looks like, and that's really it. So I don't know if this is like a weird thing that I've done, but it also is, I guess, something that he's done as well, where neither of us really thought about the the common practice of asking what the other person's name is, so that we, are like even the most base level familiar with each other. We only know what each other looks like. We have no idea who each other's names are. And so that I thought that was kind of an interesting experience where maybe this guy's like, damn, this motherfucker hasn't asked my name yet. And I'm just kind of like, well, we'll just never know who each other are again. I don't really know. That's just kind of a wonky little scenario that's going on. Another thing that happened kind of recently too, and this is more just like me showing that I'm a bit of a cuck and sitting in the cuck chair when I go to the gym. Is I was like waiting for a machine. It was a leg extension. There's only two in the entire gym that I go to, which is kind of tough. And so sometimes I'd be waiting for a long time. And so I'm like chilling there for like 3 or 4 minutes. And like at the same time, both of the leg presses were getting like finished up with. People were going to wipe it off. But I was standing by one, just kind of like act like I'm claiming it. And then this girl who was using it wipes it off and then leaves. And then this old motherfucker just like walks up and steals it from me. I'm like, okay, you know what? That's no big deal. This guy's kind of an asshole, but it doesn't really matter because there's another one immediately open right next to me. So it's not like I'm gonna make a big deal about this guy stealing this stuff from me. I'm more just gonna think that he's like an evil person, just from an objective standpoint because he sucks and took the machine from me, even though I was very clearly waiting and looking at it for the entire time. But the thing is, I think even if like if there wasn't another one open, I don't think I would have said shit. I would probably would just accepted it. That's another thing too, is that you don't gotta be embarrassed about at the gym. Is just being like fucked over by literally every single person, or maybe you can be a better person than I am, a more willing to stand up for yourself person than I am, where you're just not willing to let someone take the machines that you're waiting for very clearly from you. But for some reason, when that happens to me, I'm just like, well, no, life. That's life. You can't do much about it. That's unfortunate, but it's how it goes sometimes. And then a final thing that I do, and this has happened like recently, but like not too much, but it kind of occurs on the occasion just because I'm an idiot. For anyone who is going to the gym newly, or just anyone who's going to the gym overall, if you're ever doing benches and you're ever benching, and the benches that you're using don't have any like catching things, like or any like safeties to make it so that when you fail a bench, the weight doesn't sit on top of you, ask for a squat, or not ask for a spot. because I am dumb enough to never do this. And the reason being is that I believe in myself enough to get the weight off of me, and since I could like turn a little bit and throw it off. But as a result of this, every single time, because I like going to failure when I'm bench pressing, even though it's a kind of dumb idea if I don't have anyone spotting me, people freak the fuck out when I fail. And it's just like, and I have to like kind of play it off. Like, I'm not trying to act like I'm all nonchalant or anything. I'm like, oh, no, I would never die to a heavy little barbell laying on top of me. It's more of just like I didn't want to inconvenience anyone like with the trial of having to spot for me. But as a result, whenever I even get close to failing or it looks like I'm doing it slow, people will like run over to me and like go like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I have to go like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just a bit of a dumbass. Like I failed like this so many times before, and like I'm stupid enough now to save myself. Even though I guess it might even get to the point where I don't even bench anymore. But if I were to keep on doing it, it would have gotten to the point where maybe I couldn't have done this, and I would have died. That's another thing that I do a lot of the time where I don't even ask for a spot. And as a result, I look like an idiot who doesn't know his own strength and will fail a bench and scare everybody. And it's kind of even leads to something that I thought was kind of funny. And this wasn't even something that I did that was like kind of just, rough for me, social interaction. I was talking to one of my friends at the gym, and, I get there and he's like helping a guy spot, and like he helps him do it for a set or two. And after I'm talking to him, he's like, man, I was there helping that guy spot or bench for 30 minutes. He's like he's like, "Yeah," he was like this high schooler guy, I didn't wanna like tell him that, I need to work on my own stuff, and I was like, "Bro, that's kind of really funny that happened too." So even then, the gym is also filled with like a bunch of just socially anxious people who like don't really know how to stand up for themselves like me. So if you're worried about looking like an idiot once again at the gymnasium, working out, trying to better yourself, don't. The gym is filled with a bunch of idiots, a bunch of dumbasses, and it's all just a collective dumbassery that's going on. But I just wanted to make this video again. It just has a common tradition where when enough stories acclimate in my brain and accumulate in my brain, that's probably the better word for this. I just want to talk about it and be like, if you're ever thinking about going and this is something you're worried about, don't worry about it. I've been going for many a years and I'm still an idiot and embarrass myself all the time. But that's really all I wanted to talk about for today. So thank you for watching. Goodbye.